Peace. So we're in a very interesting time period. The masses of people are extremely bugging out over this virus thing. And in the same process as the virus is going on, there are other things that's going on under the wire that the masses of people aren't even paying attention to. You know what I'm saying? For instance, the Federal Reserve is no longer the Federal Reserve. It's been merged into the Department of Treasury. And if you understand how significant of an historical event that is, you know what I'm saying, then you would understand where these things may be going and where we may be going. This is the same thing that just occurred, is the same thing that got President Kennedy killed, Executive 1110, which was wanting to remove the Federal Reserve Bank and put everything back to a silver standard. You understand what I'm saying? So with that being stated also, you're looking at other things such as this virus, right? And in the process, many people are terrified because they're saying strange things like the world is going to end and, it's all over. Of course, we've seen this before in the year 2000, the 2000 and K thing, when everybody went crazy because the world was supposed to end, and then World War III was supposed to come up, and all of this stuff. But the reality is that fear is the tool that is used, you know what I'm saying, to bring a people to its knees. And when you use fear to bring a people to its knees, you can take that same fear and use that fear that you're thriving off of and energizing off of and create a whole nother agenda through the fear. Because see, you need the complicity of the people. The people have to be complicit in order for you to push certain agendas. So you create the agenda. But I'm not saying that something isn't going on, but something greater is going on than what we're being put in our face by media. I tell you, and I would tell you again, don't pay too much attention to the news. Pay attention to the people who are speaking to you. Pay attention to YouTube. Pay attention now to social media even more, because people are out doing their own investigations. You understand what I'm saying? And they're finding out some very interesting things. So I want you to pay attention as well. Quote unquote, so-called Asiatic people, I want you to understand as well. Don't fret. Because see, this is a great time period for us too. Because when it's all said and done, this is gonna allow us to, we all talk about separation. Well, this is possibly a separation. You understand what I'm saying? This is possibly the time where we will have to be forced to unite and be forced to deal with each other. This means that as the system speaks about the book of Revelations, because you hear a lot of talk about it in our community, you know what I'm saying, in regards to the mark of the beast and the microchips and so on and so forth. Well, the microchip thing is a very possible reality. We're watching it. We see the RFID chip thing. They're talking about the 2020 digital print thing for whatever it was, for prescriptions or something, that you have to use a digital print and all this other type of stuff. Well, you're using digital prints now right on your phone. Some of you are using your phones for digital print and eye prints and so on and so forth. So you're falling right in line. You don't really understand. Fear is the tool that will be utilized to make you get the chip. You'll want the chip. By the time they're done putting fear in you, you will want the chip. You will be asking for it. And that's how the psychology works. So I want to tell you this. They said you can't buy or sell without the mark of the beast. Well, if the mark of the beast happens to be a chip, Asiatic people, this is where we separate. This is where we begin to do our own thing. Because I'm going to tell you something, in the most worst crisis in America's history, whenever you had big crises, this is when millionaires are manifesting themselves. Why did millionaires manifest themselves? Millionaires manifested themselves because of all they had was their innate talents, their innate skills. See, take the fear and turn it into creativity. And then we begin to buy and sell and deal with each other. We don't have to buy and sell. We don't have to have the mark of the beast to buy and sell in their reality. In their reality, you're going to need a mark to buy or to sell in their world, in their reality. But see, we can create our own because we had it before. It was called segregation. And within segregation, we had our own supermarkets, schools, and everything. We were buying and dealing with each other. And this is what's going to have to happen again. Each man will be forced to worship under his own vine and fig tree. In other words, you will be forced to deal with your own people. So we might as well come to a particular situation where we can have a common ground, because that's what it's going to take. And that's where we at this particular minute. And that's what I wanted to be understood. You can think about the book of Revelations and you can think about the mark of the beast, and you can think about the chips and all of this type of stuff. But quote unquote, if so-called black people get together, you don't have to worry about a mark of the beast, because we can create our own markets and buy and sell from each other. We won't need a system. Again, remember segregation. Go back and study segregation. You were taught that segregation was a bad thing because of how it manifested itself. But segregation was one of the best things that happened to our people because we were self-autonomous. And now we're in a time period where this might push us back into that particular same type of mind state and same type of situation where we are forced to buy and sell and deal with each other. Peace.